I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. What I'm going to share with you today is a frightening but true situation that's currently happening here in Madison County. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Democrat issue. It is now a Madison County issue. And it affects thousands of your neighbors, family members, friends, and possibly you. Recently, a girlfriend of mine contacted me about a situation involving her grandpa. He was an 86-year-old man, and he received a phone call that his his grandson was in jail in England, and that he needed to go and wire money immediately. And he did. He went to the Kroger, got there at the Western Union, and wired out $2,000. Well, he got back home, and all of a sudden, there's another phone call. It wasn't enough money. So he went back to the Western Union and wired $2,000 more. After he got back home, a half hour later, he got another call. Well, at this point, he called family and said, "I don't have any more money to give." Well, he also found out that his grandson was 4 miles away at home. Not an issue. Ironically, one of my office workers had the exact same type of phone call come to her a couple of weeks prior. And it made me start thinking about my grandmother, she was the sweetest, kindest-hearted woman. And if you asked her for money, she'd give it to you, because that's just how she was. And I was concerned, how is this kind of information getting out? Red flags went off in my mind. How do scam artists get the personal information of an 86-year-old man who only drives from home to the golf course to the fishing pond? A man who has no credit card, never had an email, no Facebook account, never had a computer, he didn't even have a cell phone plan. How do they know? How do they know? In my industry, it's common practice to research everything thoroughly and meticulously, because I want to know what's going on. I want to get to the root of it. And while researching these issues, I came across one way that this information gets out. That is, companies that collect personal information and resell it to any business, any organization, anyone with money. And you know what? The more money you pay, the more information you get. While looking at one website that showed individuals' personal information for sale by a company located in Argyle, Wisconsin, but calling itself, believe it or not, calling itself Illinois Land Sales Bulletin. Well, I noticed that their map included Madison County. So we contacted the company, posed as a person that wanted to start a cleaning and party planning business. Without any identification, this fake company was sent sample Madison County residents information lists and quotes of how much it would cost for more quotes, all in less time than it takes to get a pizza delivered to your house. Personal information about Madison County residents. As easy as that. The nice young lady at the company explained to us that they get discs of hundreds of what are called P-tax forms. These are forms that have to be filed whenever land transactions take place in Madison County that involve transactions over $10,000. Well, each form has thousands. Each month on these forms, there are thousands of names, addresses, phone numbers, signatures, and more. When asked, where does this company get this information? Where do they get these discs? They said, we get it from the Madison County Recorder's Office for $50 a month. Thousands of residents' personal information being sold out to an out-of-state company for pennies, leaving our citizens open to fraud, to scam. These discs started being sold 19 months ago. Our receipt of 4 months have provided thousands of Madison County residents' personal information, including signatures, wealth prospect information, and questions identifying age. So they know if you're a senior. All of which are pieces that are used by mass mailing companies to fill up your mailboxes and by criminals to steal identities. To be clear, these forms are public record, and they are held in the recorder's office for a period of time. They can be examined, and copies can be purchased at the recorder's office for $1 per page. And these forms are usually 2 to 3 pages in length. But it would take great effort for an out-of-state business to come to Madison County and get this information inside our county administration building, which is a secured, video-monitored government building. The current Madison County Recorder, Matt Rice, has made it easy and cheap for them to resell Madison County residents' information over and over to any junk mail company, scam artist, or business that has no interest in Madison County. We have set up a hotline with recorded information at 618-207-330 for Madison County residents, and they can email "do not sell me out" at gmail.com with any questions they may have. Issues like this are why I decided to run for Madison County Recorder. It is time that all Madison County residents see this poor decision for what it is. It is inexperience and a lack of insight and judgment. It is time that each Madison County resident gets to an early voting site and sends out a message. Madison County will not be sold out. We deserve better. Thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, I'm open to taking questions at this time. Yes?
Amy, why would Matt Rice do this?
Well, I don't know why anyone would do this personally. Based on my experience, I can't imagine that someone would make a decision like this selling out governmental records.
Is it legal?
It is legal. However,
is it ethical?
I do not believe it's ethical. I definitely do not believe it's ethical. And just because something is legal doesn't mean that it should be done.
Is this done in other counties also?
There are other counties that do it. There are other counties that choose not to do it. And Madison County should definitely not be selling this information.
How do I find out if Recorder Rice has sold my information and exposed my family to identity theft?
Well, we do have a hotline, and as I mentioned, the number for that hotline is area code 618-207-3300. And also there's an email where anybody that has questions can send an email, and that is all one word, do not sell me out @gmail.com.
Amy, I have a question, and maybe it's more of a question, or more of a statement than a question. We know he's doing this. The question was brought up, why is he doing this? But whatever brought it to his attention in the first place to start it?
You know, I don't know. I know that there are companies such as this that, you know, their business is to solicit, and they solicit, I would imagine, offices in order to find out if they can get somebody who's willing to sell them the information. And I guess when they called, he said it was okay.
Who actually gets his money he's getting for this? Is this like county revenue?
I believe that the money, which is marginal, goes into the recorder's budget. However, if you look at the numbers involved here, although he's receiving $50 a month basically to spoon feed this information to an out-of-state company, if these companies came into the county, which is, it's really unlikely, but if they did, they'd be subject to the copying cost involved. So as far as saying that we're actually making any kind of a profit on this, I would say it's a wash. And most definitely, even if there was money being made, the potential detrimental effects that we see from selling public records, it just doesn't, there's not an amount that justifies that.
Would you allow this practice to continue?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would stop this practice immediately upon taking office.
How can people know where to early vote?
There are early voting centers throughout the county, and if you go to the county website, the county clerk's site through Mark Venida has all of that information available. Also, if you wish to contact my office at area code 618-463-1000, my staff will also have a list of that information available. If you can tell them the area in which you live, they'll be able to direct you to the early voting site.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you all for coming here today. I appreciate it.